very early, and this definitely will get updated throughout the offseason. But so as of right now, what are your current power rankings as far as targets? And we're going to consider the possible compensation for each guy. So obviously Paul George, free agent, so that's going to be close to a max contract for him. Jimmy Butler, let's assume that we had to trade 2 picks to get him. Brandon Ingram, possible 3 picks we'd have to get him. Lauri Markkanen, 4 picks to get him, and Mikal Bridges, 4 picks to get him. Of those 4 guys or 5 guys, where would be your power rankings as far as top target to lowest target for you?
You can go, Teja. Go ahead.
Okay. Considering price tag and how much we'd have to trade. Okay, so first 2 are close for me. I'm going to go Bridges number 1 because of his price tag, age, fit. 4 picks is a lot to give up. I mean, it is a lot. But he'll make $23 million next year, which means we could still afford about $40 million to spend on free agents to fill out the roster. So I know we won't have the assets to trade out anymore, but we really wouldn't need to anymore at that point because we would just have a lot of money to spend after we get him. Lauri would be number 2 for me. I put him below Bridges because I think we covet a wing more than a stretch 4. I mean, that's pretty much what Morey said in his press conference. But Lauri can also play some 5 when Embiid's out. Can also play next to Embiid at 4. So he's kind of like what we envisioned Horford was going to be when we signed him many years ago. A guy who could play next to Embiid and the guy who could fill in at 5s for some minutes when Embiid's out. He makes $18 million next year. So we'd have about like $45 to $48 million to spend next to him. So that'd be, I mean, it's a lot. We'd have a lot of money to spread around. PG would be next. Cost a lot. But I think he's the next best player and fit. 40% three-point shooter, good defender when engaged, and we wouldn't have to give up any assets, which is maybe the best thing about going for him. Next would be Butler. Close to PG, not as good of a shooter, but more of a dog. It would cost assets, that sucks because they're about to be the same price. And then Ingram for me. I feel like he's kind of like the middle between all these guys. So he's not as good as the PG Butler, but also wouldn't cost as much either. I think he's on the hook for 36 before he has to get, re-upped for his contract extension. So we still have about 25, 30-ish to play with after we get him. So that's the kind of the middle between the two. He doesn't cost like the 49, 51, but he's also not like really, really flexible in the price that like the Lauri and Bridges are. But hey, if we feel like, he can, Nurse can get the best out of him, kind of like how he got the best out of Kelly this season, as far as like how Kelly looked on D. Kelly looked great on defense compared to his, what he was known for earlier in his career. If he can do the same thing with Ingram, then I mean, I'd be all for it. What you think?
Well, this one for me, individually, rank them like 1 through 5. I just put them tier 1, tier 2.
Okay.
And in tier 2, I have Paul and Jimmy in tier 2.
Ooh.
Because I think that for where we're trying to go, I'm not sure that bringing Jimmy back is the answer. I'm just not. Because I don't know who else is going to be on the team. And you got to have a certain culture with Jimmy. You can't have no soft dudes in that locker room. He'll break them down and it could go sour quick.
Yeah.
And with Paul, I'm not sure you right now at this stage of Paul's career, if we get him and then with those expectations that come with Paul George, I don't know if he'll ever be able to meet them this stage in his career on a consistent basis.
Valid.
So that's a concern of mine. In the tier 1, I could say with the age and the talent of the other 3, they all have fits, and none of the fits are the same.
Yeah.
So I would say they all can fit. Brandon Ingram, from a standpoint, isn't necessarily a knockdown shooter. He needs to play a little more with the basketball in his hands. But he's also a guy that can help you if we need to make sure Joel plays 65 games. So I do like that pick, especially if it's you can get it for less. Obviously, Mikal, we've been saying for years that he's the best fit to be your third or fourth guy.
Yeah.
And that's still a good fit. And then Markkanen could be your second. If he's your third guy, you got a chance to be really, really good. So I would go the younger route, just for me. Go younger than Joel, and from that standpoint, and because you have Maxey that's younger, get someone that's a little closer to Maxey's age, and to help you moving forward, and then kind of build your team out from there.
Ingram's still 26, man. It's been in the league for like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
People have been down on Ingram, but I actually think it's a good move. I think they have too many ISO guys on that team. I think he could help with playmaking. He's averaged almost 6 assists the last 3 seasons. I think that would help. It would take. Even if we don't get a traditional point guard next to Maxey, that's someone else who can handle the ball and bring it up too, right? And he's not a Paul George 3-point shooter, but 39 and 36 the last 2. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say he'll get some cleaner shots in Philly, and but you were talking about the point guards. I'm like, yeah, that's something that needs to be addressed also.
Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised by your list, though, Eric. I didn't think it was going to be that way. I like it.
Yeah.
If the compensation's the same with your top tier, who would you go for first out of those 3?
And that's what I was saying. Like, it's kind of hard because they all give you something that we need, but they're all different. So it kind of depends on like how you're going to build your team around that. So is Maxey going to be your primary ball handler? Is he not going to be your primary ball handler? Like, some of that stuff that matters to me, because if Maxey's not going to be your primary ball handler, now you got a wing scoring more. So now maybe the fit isn't as well for Brandon Ingram. Maybe it's better for Bridges. But if Maxey is sort of at the point, then maybe you can have Brandon Ingram in there and put like a KCP in between those two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just something like that. It kind of depends how you fill out the rest of your roster. And that's why it was kind of hard for me to pick one particular player, because it's not like we just picking a guy and we already have our top 6 or 7 already set.
Yes.
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Is a guy I have not heard being thrown around a lot. I think Windhorse mentioned him during the trade deadline of us trying to trade for him to maybe sign him. Was Miles Bridges? I know we talk about Mikal Bridges, but Miles Bridges is a free agent. What do you guys think about his potential fit?
I mean, he fits. I mean, he's a guy that can shoot the 3, sort of a 4-3 or 3-4, whatever you want to call him. But I'd say it still depends on roster build for that. I wouldn't put him in the tier 1 with those guys. I wouldn't. I know Miles. I know he could impact the team, but I still need to see the roster build.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we struck out, I absolutely. I would be down to give him a lot more on a short-term deal than like just give him out. Look, because and it sounds like Morey's not going to do that. Like, we missed out on the top guy, so we need to get the next best guy a lot of money. It sounds like we're not going to do that. So if we strike out, we're going to go more towards.
I think he'll be more of a complementary with someone else. Like if we go the multiplayer route, something like that.
Yes. I agree with that. And with the money, because he is going to get a lot of money in his extension, Ingram, but 36 is pretty good for him at this point on the cap right now.
But he would have to play to get that. But he'll have to play to get it. He's going to have to play and perform to get it.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. But you still afford another like $28 million under the cap. You could get a KCP next to him. That's the beauty of getting him and not getting like a PG. You get PG or Butler, we're pretty much done. We have like 15 left, and then we have to still try to get some of our own guys if they don't want the minimum. So Ingram opens that up a little bit to be like, okay, maybe you can get a Gary Trent. Maybe you can get a KCP at that point. A Bruce Brown. Any number of those guys.
Yeah, Gary Trent's been a popular name with among Sixers fans as a potential target for us.
We also didn't talk about, I know, because it would have been our actually, you know what? Let me ask you this, Eric, because the age thing, you downgraded those guys to tier 2. Would the age matter with LeBron? If LeBron's going to sign a 2-year deal with Philly, would he be tier 2 or would he be tier 1? I'm top target.
No, I'm taking LeBron over all. I'm taking LeBron over all of them.
Okay.
I'm taking LeBron over everyone.
All right.
On the list, yeah.
That's why we thought, just don't even include LeBron.
There's more that comes with that. There's more that comes with that than just getting LeBron. Yeah, it's more that comes with that, man. You got a guy that, at the end of the day, like if he can be your third guy, like you got a chance to win. You get in the series, put it like this: if he's on our team this year, we don't lose to the Knicks.
Yeah,
that's my belief.
Yeah.
So
you think if we had years. You think if we had George instead of Harris, we might have still lost to the Knicks?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Another guy too, not any of these positions.
I like Paul. I think that I like Paul. Is just like right now at the stage of his career, like teams aren't double teaming him; they're playing him 1-on-1. So, he still can play. He's still talented as heck. But I'm just saying, like the separation you can see in the last couple of years, like the separation with the consistency. Like he'll give you that game where he like, man, they can't do nothing with him. Then he'll give you the game, the next game It's just like that, but that's what happens as you kind of get older and you haven't really been healthy. And that's, to me, that just shows that it's harder to be the number one guy. Where he come to Philly, probably be the number 3 guy, and that probably suits him better nowadays. With him being older and he can lighten his load first in the game and health wise, that may be better for him. But that's also going to limit his opportunities to score. So you will be getting the guy that's going to do less because he would probably be in position to do less.
Yeah, he'd probably be in the corner like Tobias is, catch and shoot. Would he be doing most of his game?
And that's different. And that's a different basketball game. So you're asking a guy that has been doing ISOs and having the ball to now be regulated to getting the majority of his shots in the corner. Like I'm telling you right now, history says that doesn't work for a lot of guys that have played with the basketball in their hands a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. He is an awesome catch and shooter, though, I will say.
Yeah, he's an awesome catch and shooter because he has the basketball a lot. We don't know.
Yeah.
But history says those guys take a dip in their percentages.
Yeah. It's also a lot of money to be paying someone for his reputation and what he's done throughout his career to come here and then be relegating him to a catch and shoot corner guy too. It's like that's kind of a waste of money, in my opinion.
But that's why. But that's why if you kind of think back to what I said when we were talking about the players, and I was like, Paul would come here and he wouldn't be put in the situation to meet the expectations that will be put on him.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of people have said it'd be Tobias part 2.
Yeah, but I've heard that they're being thrown around about Brandon Ingram too.
That's all I'm saying is like I don't think he would be he wouldn't be in position to do to do what he's expected to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to understand, like, it got to be. That's what makes Bridges such the right guy, because he's been in that role before and he's perfected.
Yes.
So that's why everybody's so, him and the OG kind of fit, because that's kind of the role that's like implemented for them and their style and build and everything.
Yep. Bleacher Report had a projected trade. It was Dorian Finney-Smith and Mikal Bridges for a bunch of draft picks, which would be amazing if they were able to happen, but we shall see.